good first question. If it's the only place who wanted to have us in Jakarta, um, no. Well, there's no. There wasn't any personal relationship when we first started talking to do something together. We were introduced by a friend, and the thing I really liked about Raffles is that they have a restaurant that is designed to do pop-ups. So it's a great kitchen, better than the kitchen I have in Bali in our restaurant. It's a space you can turn into something new. Well, sort of anything you like. So I like the freedom they give you as a venue or as a restaurant. There's a great team behind the hotel. They have a great chef who's very supportive in everything we do and everything we want to do. And they sort of let us do whatever we want. So if we want to bring 1,000 plants in, we bring 1,000 plants in. If we want to do that menu, we do that menu. If we want to do that menu, so it's there wasn't a personal connection when we started talking first, but there is now, I would say.
So, semangka Pak? Semangka. Ya, udah dikeringin, habis diasapin, habis itu bawang putih. Sedikit
Yeah, no, you can see that. That's all the way thing.
ya, mau dilipat, habis itu coba.
Well, it doesn't feel like that, but I do really appreciate the freedom they give us with whatever it is we want to do. But it's definitely not my restaurant.
Jadi berikutnya kita punya snack jagung bakar. Untuk babycornnya sendiri ini terinspirasi dari biasanya orang kalau di puncak akan makan jagung bakar ditemenin dengan segelas kopi lalu dengan suara jangkrik. Jadi gimana kalau kita gabung semua idenya jadi satu dish. Jadi kita buat kopi mayo, lalu kopi kombucha reduction, lalu kita cover dengan termite powder atau sejenis jangkrik. Jadi untuk makannya tinggal dicocol aja dengan side dish. Ayo.
Wow, that's deep for Thursday evening. I think with what we are trying to showcase with Locavore is that Indonesian produce is as good as anything else you can get. I think me and my partner Ray, we like to stress out that you don't have to bring in things from afar. You don't have to focus on expensive, fancy ingredients, but with some extra work, some extra care, some extra love, you can turn something very humble, something very simple into something delicious.
Jadi inspirasinya biasanya kalau kita musim panen dari labu, itu biasa orang cuma ambil labunya aja dan daunnya dibuang gitu aja. Nah, instead of kita ambil labunya, jadi kita minta ke petani untuk jangan buang daunnya, kita ambil lalu kita olah jadi satu dish. Kita glaze dengan soy sauce dan sesame oil. Di atasnya kita tabur dengan powder dari fermented bumbu Bali.
You know, I'm obviously not from Indonesia. Ray is, but I would be very frustrated if I was him. I think there's a big lack of pride or how do you say that? I think Indonesian produce are not good enough for Indonesian people. So when we opened our restaurant, it took us a lot of time and a lot of talking, a lot of effort for our team to understand what it is we want to do. So we wanted to showcase, we wanted to focus on Indonesian produce and not bring in something from afar. And for them to understand and to feel that the stuff they eat at home is good enough to serve in a restaurant like Locavore was a long battle. Yeah, but you know, long story short, I think it's much more interesting to cook something for people they don't find at home. you know, don't people that come to Bali are in general tourists and normally we cook for tourists. So why would they come to a tropical island to eat salmon and scallops and caviar and truffle and foie gras? Well, it's better at home. So we said let's not use that. Let's focus on ingredients they don't know and make that as delicious as we can. So that's our message.
Ya, jadi ini untuk final snacks ya. Di sini ada signature kita, hot and cold tomato. Jadi di paling bawah ada heirloom tomato, kita season pakai celery salt. Terus di atasnya ada tomato sambal sorbet, jadi slightly agak pedas. Terus ini untuk supnya ada hot tomato consomme.
Oh, I'm the bad cop for sure. Well, I think he does the things he likes to do, and he does the things he's good at, and I do the things I like to do and the things I'm good at.
Such as?
I focus on, well, he does HR. He deals with Indonesian extensions. He is much more involved in the cooking bit nowadays, and I do everything else he doesn't want to do. I do marketing. I do our social media. I do our design. It's not that I do it myself, but I'm supervising the teams to do it. I'm just a facilitator, and he does the hard work, and I try to facilitate what he does. But there's not a it's an ongoing conversation. I think I often tell him that why I always have to be the bad guy, why I always have to be the one that tells people off, but then again, I think if I'm not there, he's doing it anyway. But when I'm there, I'm not saying he's hiding behind me, but he's just, he's just a smart one of the two of us, I would say.
Dish prawn ini inspired dari ceviche style of prawn dengan tomato cherry, terus ada clove oil, kemangi leaf, dan juga ada pairingnya itu ada chili sirup, madal tomato cherry, sama arak infused chili. Hope you enjoy it.
It happens. Things happen over time. I think you grow into a concept. When we opened Locavore, it was a completely different restaurant. It was a completely different menu we were cooking. It was much more European. It was much more focusing on European ingredients that were grown on the island. And somewhere along the way, we decided to focus on Indonesian ingredients or ingredients that have been here for a long time. So no, I don't think it's something that happens naturally. I think it's based on the decisions you make. We could have stayed with what we were doing when we opened, but we said let's not. Let's get outside of our comfort zones and let's put the effort, let's put the work and to become a better and a more interesting restaurant. And I think that's why it often goes wrong in Indonesia. People just keep on doing what they are doing, and it's just, whatever, it doesn't matter. But I think you need to push yourself every day, not so much reinvent yourself every day, but I think if you stay in your comfort zones, I think you never get somewhere. So I think for us, it was really important to I don't know what to say, and to think outside of the box and to come up with to focus on ingredients we never cooked with before, we never used before, and to try to make the most of that. So that is not something that happens naturally, or that's a decision you make, and I think it's a lot of work you put into it, a lot of hours, a lot of thinking, a lot of struggle. But no, it doesn't come naturally. No.
Merah itu jantungnya. Terus di bawahnya itu ada gravy sauce. Terus ini otak sapinya, penemannya ada watercress emulsion. Silakan. Iya.
Well, it should be the most exciting part. Well, we are in the lucky position, or we created a position that we have a whole team of people working on it. So we have a dedicated creative kitchen that only does this. They only try to look for new ingredients, and if they find a new ingredient, to turn it into something we haven't done before. Again, I love cooking things I used to cook, and I love cooking straightforward dishes. But I think our restaurant is that's not what our restaurant is about. Let me say it like that. We're not an Italian restaurant, not a Spanish restaurant. We don't know what kind of restaurant we are. So we're still figuring it out. I think we are still learning. We are still, I think every day we try to do the best we can, but also knowing that we can do a lot better. And I think that's the right mindset to run a restaurant. And also we have other restaurants that cook burgers or cook Indonesian food. And I enjoy doing that as well. But I think if we talk about Locavore only, I think our DNA is to never sit back and think it's good. We never satisfied. We never think we are a good restaurant. We don't think we are the best restaurant in Indonesia. We really don't think so. And I don't think we will ever be or think that we are. So I think it's the non-stop developing, the non-stop doubting yourself is that does set us apart.
Jadi berasnya itu dari Bali, namanya beras galuk. Jadi itu di cook dengan kari butter. Terus di atasnya itu ada butter mushroom, ada crispy rice, ada green tea of pure egg-nya. Terus ada juga daun kari sama daun kemangi yang digoreng. Silakan.
Yeah, I come from that background. Of course, I worked in Michelin star restaurants, and I felt the stress just for having to maintain that 1 or 2 stars. But for us personally, I think it's from a business point of view, it's great to be on that best 50 list. It gets your name out there. It creates bookings. But I think it's just another list. There's so many lists, and it's comparing apples and pears. How can you compare us with a Japanese restaurant, or with a Chinese restaurant, or with a Thai restaurant? You just cannot. So it's for me, that whole best 50 thing is in the first few years, it was personally what it felt like really special. But I think nowadays it's the good thing is, the boys and girls that work for us, they work really hard. So for them, this motivation is great. They work in the best restaurant in Indonesia. Like I said before, we personally don't think we are, but if that's written about you, if that's the label they put on you, it's great. And when I was a younger cook, I would have wanted to work there. You want to work in the best place possible. So for them, we are. So that motivation they get from that is great, and that is motivation I might not be able to give them. So I think it's for that reason it's great. Now in the state of the world we are at, it's not relevant anymore. Who cares, right? At the moment we only surviving. We only try to keep our business open. We only try to get our people a salary every month. And that list is so non-important. So in a way, that's great. That's great to leave that stress behind, and to leave that whole competitiveness behind, because I don't like that at all. I don't want to put my elbows out and be like that. So in a way, it's good that it's now not relevant anymore. But from a business point of view, it's been great. From a HR point of view, it's been great. Just for me and Ray, I don't think it matters much anymore.
Habis itu kita taburin sama daun chai, ada timun tikus, ada lokyo, habis itu ada yang sebelahnya ada saus mole. Biasanya mole itu dibuat dengan macam-macam ingredients, dan salah satunya adalah coklat. Kita tidak pakai coklat, cuma kita pakai keluak.
No, I have other things to achieve. I don't want to sound blasé or arrogant, but it's it's great. It's been 5 years. Okay, we know it now. We've been there. We made a lot of friends. But it's yeah, it's what it is. It's a ranking. It's no, it's not something that at the moment keeps me troubled or doesn't make me sleep at night. There's other things. There's so many more important things in the world than a list.
Duck, jadi ada si duck breast, ini ada carrot puree, terus ada carrot reduction, sedangkan yang di mangkok ini kita pakai duck breast, sedangkan leftovernya ini dari tulang dan segala macam kita bikin duck jus, dan untuk kakinya kita bikin duck sausage. Jadi sustainable dish sesuai dengan konsep dasar Locavore, sustainable, semua bagiannya itu kita pakai. Kali ini bagian kaki dari ducknya kita fillet, terus kita bikin sausage.
It's a good question. I don't know how why we get invited for those things. Well, I know, and of course I do know. I think for where we are and what we are doing, it's quite out there. It's there's no Indonesian restaurant that does anything like we do. So that does make you stand out, and that does get you invited for events like that. When we opened Locavore, we had no idea what we wanted to do. Besides that, we wanted to have our own restaurant, and we wanted to have make our own decisions and have fun, and all these things we just see it as a bonus. I mean, it's great to get invited to a place like a festival like that, to San Sebastian, which is one of the main culinary destinations in the world. So you go there, you do your talk, which was terrible, by the way, but it's great. Well, our talk was terrible. That nobody had a clue what we were saying. They didn't speak any English. Before we had a very good prepared talk, which was quite funny and sharp, but nobody got it. But it doesn't matter, if that allows you to travel to San Sebastian and eat everywhere, it's great. I mean, that's just a bonus. That all those festivals and all those guest chef appearances, it's just great. It's just something we never thought to be possible when we opened Locavore. We just never thought about it. It was not why we opened our own restaurant. It's all. I don't think about it too much. It just happens, and we've been to some fun ones, some good ones over the years, and. It's funny that for 2020 we said let's slow down, let's not travel too much, and Corona happened, so we didn't travel at all. But festivals like San Sebastian or Madrid Fusion in Manila, it's just a bonus. It's just a bonus.
Ya, jadi ini untuk dessert amosnya. Di sini ada bubur sumsum, jadi kita bikin descontracted-nya. Di paling bawah ada mango aroma manis, jadi kita marinate. Terus di atasnya ada frozen bubur sumsum, ada mangonya lagi, ada puff rice. Terus kita cover pakai crackers, itu terbuat dari mangga gedong gincu dan juga desiccated coconut. Dan yang terakhir yang warna putih itu frozen bubur sumsum. Enjoy.
Well, we don't mingle. I personally, I don't mingle really well. I don't go to a chef like, hey, I'm Eelke from Bali. Who are you? Nobody cares, in my opinion. So I don't have culinary heroes. I don't have, my world is really small. We in Ubud, in a little village, and we do what we do, and they do what they do, and I'm inspired, especially by these big Spanish chefs or Scandinavian chefs, but. It's just another person. I don't get excited by, when Juan Roca came to our restaurant, that was very special. He came to Locavore, had a meal there. That is cool. But to go to a festival and I was inspired by Barsategui telling his story, and he's like a fucking hero there. They all love him. But for me, it's nice. A chef who cooks food as well. and cooks really good food, but it's not. I don't get carried away, but maybe that's because I'm Dutch. I'm very, I don't know. But it's special to be there, and I realize that. But it doesn't excite me that much to hang around with these people or to talk to them. It's just they're not my people. They run a restaurant. We just cooks. We cook food. That's what we do, and some are more known than others. But in general, we all do the same thing. But I do realize that getting invited for something like that and to be allowed to tell your story is very special. But that is it for me.
Di dessert Bali coklatnya, di bawahnya itu ada kakao butter cake, terus ada coklat gelato di cover dengan coklat soil, terus ada green tea of 80% coklat, and then di foam dengan coklat foam. Silakan.
Yeah, it's frustrating, to be honest. I always find it very frustrating for me to represent Indonesia, because why would I? Why do you need a Dutch guy to represent such a beautiful country? It's a whole different conversation, and I know why, and I know because we are different, and we are trying to push Indonesian produce. But that's why I always try to push Ray into the spotlight, which he doesn't like, because we both don't like to be in the spotlight. But for me, it makes much more sense for him to be the star of the show, not me, because he's from this country and he has this sense of pride that I don't have to cook with Indonesian ingredients. For me, it just makes sense to cook with whatever you have locally. If that's China or Indonesia or Holland or Brazil, doesn't matter. But he's from here, and for him it must be much more special, I must say. I like to believe. So now for me, like this, if we go to the Best 50 thing, we are the only restaurant from Indonesia. So there might be one restaurant from the Philippines on that list. But the amount of media from the Philippines that is there featuring that event is just like 100 times more than Indonesia. Nobody in Indonesia cares about Indonesian food. That is a big frustration of mine, for sure, for Ray as well. And I don't know why. I don't know why there's no more sense of pride, why there's not more interest. People want to have truffle, people want to have wagyu, it's stupid but true. I don't know. So that's why we are lucky we are in Ubud catering for tourists and bules and not for Indonesian guests, because Indonesian guests in general don't get what we are doing. They don't want to have a dish made from sukun. They don't want to have a dish made from jagung. They don't want to have a dish made from whatever. They want to have fancy shit, which is wrong and old-fashioned and not from this time, but it's what it is. But it is changing. I feel that the new generation, especially in Jakarta, is more open for our foods and more keen to try new things. But it's a struggle, and it will be a struggle, and which is good because we're happy to take it on. Somebody got to do it. Somebody got to do it. Oh, I think lucky is a very good label to put on us. I think when we opened Locavore, it was the right time, the right place, the right moments. But then again, I've been working my ass off since I was 14 years old, and so is Ray. Maybe he started a bit later, but we've been working very, very hard to make this happen. And I think again, there wasn't much of a plan, there wasn't much of an idea when we opened Locavore, but we knew that we wanted to work hard, and we know that we like that and we're good at it. And I think we got lucky that it was picked up and that people started writing about it. Not so much in Indonesia, but internationally. But that's also because we're in Bali, I think. But it's not that we sit down and relax. I think especially this whole corporate thing showed us that I think we are one of the most active restaurants on the island, in the country maybe. We've been everywhere. I cooked at Surabaya. We cooked on every beach in Bali. We did whatever we needed to do to generate a cash flow, to generate money to pay our staff. We are the last restaurant that sit down and like, okay, guys, you go home. You come back. I call you when we need you, which is what 90% of the island did. No, and we decided to work and to be creative and to come up with ideas to make it work. So I think that is just what sets us apart. There's others, so don't get me wrong, there's quite a few others who did the same thing, but in general, the first reaction for most places was like, just shut down, send your team home, unpaid leave, and wait it out. But we said, no, we're not going to do it. We're going to do the opposite. We're going to make it happen. And that's how we always think. We proactive, creative, and we always want to make it work. And we find ways to make it work, sometimes better than others. But I think that's what we are, and hopefully that's how our team sees us and appreciate us doing it. I think we like to take we never like to take the easy way. We always take the hard way. I think that sets us apart.